Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Jaya. This is Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And I'm going to give you some feedback on your independent speaking practice test that you submitted at my VoxyPop discussion group. So let's hear what you had to say.
If my friend is confused about taking a decision on his subject of university studies, I would probably advise him in this way. Listen.
Now hold on a minute here. You said this was a integrated speaking practice test. This sounds like a independent speaking practice test. So hold on just a second. Let me go back and take a look at the speaking prompts here. See which one this is. I think it's like 29 or 30. Let me go down here and see what you have here. So it's what advice would you give your friend, right? Okay, let me go back to what you said. Let's keep going.
If my friend is confused about taking a decision on his subject of university.
Okay, I would say they're not taking a decision, but making a decision. Usually in English, we make a decision, we don't take it. So that's a word choice issue that you want to be careful about.
Studies, I would probably advise him in this way. Listen, it's important for you to take a wise decision at this moment because this will have.
Again, to make a wise decision, not take a wise decision.
An impact on your future. First of all, you should think about different programs which provides better job opportunities. You can do online research or get help from some career consultants. For example, when my brother had the same situation, he sought help from a career consultant. Second thing is, you should think about your strengths and weaknesses and select a subject which is suitable for your interest. This will help you to finish your studies in time and give a better placement in future.
Okay, you need to take a deep breath, relax a little bit. I think one of the things you're doing, you're getting a little bit nervous, you're speaking too fast, and speaking fluent and speaking fast is good, but you definitely want to make a few pauses during your response. So you're not pausing enough. And typically we have in English, we call these thought groups. It's approximately 4 to 5 stressed syllables, and typically we have a short pause with kind of a half pitch fall, and then we have another 4 or 5 stressed words, and if we get to the end of the idea, we'll follow that with a full pitch drop on that. So you're kind of putting all the ideas together without making any pauses at all, and that's going to make it difficult for listeners to concentrate on what you're saying. Now, in my TOEFL course, I do have some lessons. In the pronunciation part of my course, it's Speak Clearly lessons 40 through 44, and they focus around exactly what I'm telling you right now about the thought groups and the blending area. Now, the good news is you're using transition words, you had an introduction, you gave some advice that you would give your friend, and you gave the example of your brother. I thought that was a good example to help support the argument that you were trying to make there. Okay, so based on this, let's take a look at how you would score and why. And let me go over to the independent speaking rubrics. I'm going to click on them. Let's see what we have here. Okay, I'm going to put you just a little bit below 3. I know you probably do not want to score in this area. 2.83 out of 4, 22 points out of 30. So I think the main thing here is your delivery. Even when you get through with your introduction, you should have a short pause, and then that knows you're making a transition. You're getting into the next part of your speech. Then when you cover maybe your first reason, in the body of the speech, again, when you're done with that, you have another short pause with a full pitch drop. Then you get into the second idea. And then after you get done with that, you might have a short pause, and then you have your conclusion. So you don't want to put it all together like you did. That was a little bit difficult. So be careful about that. Anyway, let's take a look at the second one that you recorded. So I just listened to your first one. I'm giving you comments in both areas right now. So let's go back to the VoxyPop discussion group. And let's take a look at your next one. It's, you want to be careful about your discussion zones. You have the title, Practice Test 12, but then you have Independent Speaking Practice Test 10 under it. Now remember that I have IBT human raters. I have workers who go in and they will listen and score your particular practice test, but if you're not choosing the right discussion zone and you're not giving it the right title, my workers aren't going to know which speaking task you're actually doing. All right, so let's listen to this one for just a minute, see how you did. And this one, maybe this isn't the right one. Hold on a minute. Okay, here it is. Okay, I got it. Okay, let's listen to what you said here.
I don't think that children should be given cell phones because they may not handle it properly.
I'm going to go ahead and listen to your full practice test to just get the sense of how you laid out all your ideas and things, and then I'll give you comments in about 45 seconds. Okay, here we go.
Should be given cell phones because they may not handle it properly, and also they don't need the service of a cell phone because they are under the protection of adults. First of all, cell phones are expensive electronic devices. Since children do not know the value of it, they may not handle it properly, and finally they may damage it. For example, my 10-year-old nephew used to play with his dad's cell phone, finally ended up in damaging it. Second reason is that since children are always under the control of adults, whether it be in school or home or school buses, in case of emergencies, adults will be there to help them. In short, a cell phone should not be considered as toys for children to play with. I don't think that children should be given cell phones because they may not.
Okay, I have a pretty good idea of how you approach this particular speech. Now, I think there's two things. Now that I've listened to really 2 consecutive independent speaking practice tests in a row, I think I can give you some pretty good feedback. 2 things here. It's related again to your thought groups, but also your tone. Now, the thing is when you get to the end of an idea, right, you have a short pause, then you get to the next idea. Now, during that pause, your tone or pitch needs to fall. But you're not really doing that. You're kind of using the rising inflection at the end of your ideas, and your pauses are very short, so it makes it kind of difficult to understand what you're saying. So you definitely want to work a little bit more, I think, on your pausing, your phrasing, and also your tone. Now, what do? Go back to my website at my online course. I really encourage you to go to the pronunciation section and take a look. There's 5 specific lessons that will help you with your intonation. And also there's 4 lessons which will help you with the thought groups and blending, so you can make some improvements. I think if you make improvements in those 2 areas and then try to relax a little bit more, and I definitely think you can score a little bit higher than what you're scoring right now. So on this particular practice test, again, I'm going to put you right around 2.83 out of 4, or 22 points out of 30 on this particular practice test. All right, anyway, thank you for completing it. It's good to hear from you.